Gobert just got a rebound, Dave. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast, powered by 786 Sports, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. We are happy to be bringing you a preview episode tonight for Inter Miami versus Columbus Crew. And we will be talking about a little bit of club news. There's some rumors out there swirling of players possibly joining Inter Miami. But before we begin, we'd like to give a huge shout out to our chief, Heron Heads, Chow and Marivi. Thank you so much for the continued generous support. And if you'd like to support us on Patreon, you will find a link in the description wherever you are listening. For those of you watching live on YouTube, thanks for stopping by. And please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you guys are enjoying the show. So the battle of the two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, Inter Miami currently in fourth place, but a game in hand. And Columbus currently sits atop the Eastern Conference standings, second place overall in the MLS. I've heard people calling it the early game of the year. So how are you guys feeling about Inter Miami heading into this game of the year?
You know what else this is? It's also battle of the last two unbeaten teams in the MLS. That's also another thing to fight for this weekend. We're feeling
Something's
good.
Got to give, right?
Something's got to give. Someone's got to lose.
Unless it doesn't.
Unless it's a draw, in which nothing has to give.
And then nothing gave.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a big game, man. It's probably the biggest game of the season. It is the biggest game of the season, hands down. I mean,
LAFC. The LAFC was pretty
good. Well,
of
the MLS season. Obviously, CONCACAF takes over everything, but it's the biggest game of the season. You know, Columbus is the team to beat right now. They're so hot right now, so hot. And yeah, we'll see. Inter Miami isn't going in there in such a great form. They've struggled as of late. Their attack isn't there. Their defense is kind of holding up by Fred. Ustadi's helping them out a lot out there. But yeah, it's going to be a good one, but it's going to be a tough one, definitely. And it's going to be interesting to see what Mascherano does. Is he going to rotate at all, or is he just going to put his best 11 out there? All right, guys.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty excited to watch a game. You know what? I'm just gonna say it's just another game. We're gonna stroll right in there. Pick up where we left off when we played LAFC, because I feel like it's similar vibes in it's a big game, big game vibes. Yeah, I agree, Mike. Greetings from Hialeah.
Dale.
But it's a fun matchup. Let's see where we stack up. Is it best game of the year so far? Yeah, probably. Because LAFC, we kind of went in there kind of sad, right? In that second game, I wasn't very confident heading into that game. Looking now, I'm not very confident heading into this one either. Mostly because of how we're playing, right? And that's a little bit nerve-wracking considering. It's funny, like I would say, like a month ago, we were kind of like as high as ever, and now we're just like, I don't know, our offense is lagging so bad. It's just we don't know what's going on.
I think it's slightly knee-jerk to say that our offense is lagging. We've had two bad MLS games in a row, but the game against LA, I mean, we came back and scored 3 goals.
It's what we do, Julio.
But before that spurt, we were kind of in a rut as well. So I don't think it's unfair to say that the offense has been lagging a little bit.
Yeah, the first LAFC match wasn't too hot. Didn't score. So yeah, I agree somewhat. There.
What do I know? Well, let's get into it. A little bit of news. Baltasar officially joined the club. He's been interviewed by the media a couple times now. Been at training, so he appears to be fully available for this match on Saturday, which is great. I would love to see him in the rotation, whether as a starter or on the bench, with an actual role and getting substituted on at some point. And the other bit of news was about Kevin De Bruyne, who we acquired the discovery rights of from San Diego, but now it appears that he's in negotiations with Chicago, which means that we would have to have given Chicago the discovery rights. So it'll be interesting to see if anything comes from that rumor, and if it does, what we receive as compensation for giving Chicago those discovery rights.
It's Fabrizio, so there's definitely fire to that smoke. But yeah, let's see if they do reach an agreement. They do have to purchase those rights from us. So it'll be curious to see. I mean, if we do sell the rights, we will basically be making nothing. Like it's creating money from nothing because we got those rights for basically nothing. So being able to sell this fictitious player that we never actually had is pretty amazing. So I know it stinks to lose KDB, but we don't really have him. So being able to get anything for that right is just wild.
Well, I know that Marco Royce, similar situation happened with Charlotte. They had the discovery rights on him, right? And then the Galaxy purchased it for 350K. So it could be that something similar happens with us. Well, yeah, it came out of nothing, Dave. So I'd rather that not be the case. To be honest with you, I'd rather have him because I really think we need a little bit of a sprucing, especially like we have very lofty goals this year, right? We have a lot of trophies that we're trying to compete for. So and we can have such a high caliber player in a month. Come on, man. I don't know. Just I don't think that's something we let go. I think we should figure out how to make it happen. I know that the report you're referring to, I believe it was I forgot the reporter that she said it. Was it Alex?
Alex Foley.
Okay. Yeah. She mentioned that we don't have enough DP roles. Correct.
Yeah, Miami doesn't have any DP roles.
The only way it would work,
to fill them
I
in,
think, is if we sign him to such a minuscule contract, which I don't think
not gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen. Like it would have to be a sweetheart 1 year deal, like one year deal, and then use the DP role in the future on him. Kind of like how we signed Alba, basically. But even he was getting more than a typical slot. So it's technically possible because I think for us to even own the right is because there is some kind of feasible way to do it. It's just not likely.
I meant that one. We can talk about Di Maria after though. Yeah, you can buy down Boots Alba. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always a possibility. You could play financial gymnastics and all that, but at the end of the day, it's going to be very difficult. Chicago has, I believe, 2 open DP spots right now, so they're primed to be able to make this move and pay KDB literally whatever he wants at that point. So
nobody wants to go to Chicago.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this Chicago team. Let me tell you.
He doesn't want to go there.
Like first, they take points from us.
Brutal game.
And then they take KDB.
I'm over them.
Those rat bastards.
Now the other thing that's lingering also, right? That a lot of people mentioned Di Maria. I was wondering also, who would you guys rather have if you had to pick one, Di Maria or KDB? Who would it be? Like for this particular team and what we're missing offensively?
KDB.
What was the question? Sorry, I missed it.
That with the team how it's constructed now, where we're lacking on offense, our firepower, etc. Who would you rather have, Di Maria or KDB?
I mean,
if you had to pick one,
obviously KDB.
Yeah, I think it's obviously KDB. We obviously lack in the wings, but does Di Maria really bring that spark that we need on the wings compared to what KDB could do in the midfield right now? We've kind of seen the struggles in our midfield the last few games. I think that's why our attack has been struggling mightily recently. So my pick is KDB.
And KDB just brings more to the table because KDB has the passing ability. He has a scoring ability. He's able to be creative at more points in the game because of his position, where Di Maria still has to get fed the ball. KDB can sort of go and get it with more ease based on where he plays. For me, it's KDB, not particularly close.
And also, age is a factor as well. Angel Di Maria is 37, KDB is 33. I know they're both in their 30s, but one's a heck of a lot closer to 40 than he is to 30. So that's another big factor. We want to be able to get guys in the building that are going to be here for a while, especially with like the questions we have with Luis Suarez, and if he's capable to keep moving. Busquets and Alba, you don't know how long these guys are going to be around, and Messi as well. If you can get another anchored player like KDB, that makes going into the new stadium, like business wise, it makes a lot of sense for people to pay for those season tickets, knowing they're going to have a player like KDB being here for a while, because there's that question with Messi. So being able to get another superstar anchor player, I think that's the right move.
Who would be the greater possibility of actually pulling it off and coming here? Definitely Di Maria. I don't think he'd be asking for that much compared to ADP and having to do the old DP slot and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's feasible because the number he doesn't have his kit number. So
the number 11, we have our number 11 already. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, he'll be the number 21. It's fine.
11.5.
That's fine. We'll make it happen. The reason why I do like Di Maria in the sense of I think right now the way that teams are playing us defensively is with that low block, and we've been talking a lot about that. We have no outside presence that's able to whip it in and make plays. Where right now we're kind of lacking. Like who are we relying on offensively on the wings right now?
You don't think people are scared of KDB outside the box?
Yeah, I think KDB will blow up that low block.
KDB outside the box? Are you kidding me?
You know, I'm not disputing. I mean, who are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying?
KDB.
I hear you, right? That's why I say I'm just okay.
You box yourself in, Jose. So let's move on. We'll see what happens and how it plays out. But that's what's going on with the transfer rumors as of now. We'll see what happens. But let's talk about Columbus. The match is Saturday. Yeah, Saturday the 19th, 4:30 p.m. kickoff. There's never a good kickoff time. It needs to be 8:30. It just needs to be 8:30 for me.
That's prime time when my son's like at his like most like I don't want to deal with anybody right now. I took a picture last time of him sitting right in front of the TV just crying. Like, this is how I'm watching.
I like 4:30 the sense, I like the 4:30 games. You know why? Because I can have a little shard, just watch the game very naturally.
Not taking care of the kids
at all.
Obviously.
I tell my wife it's time for Inter Miami, folks. Wrap it up. Sir, are you going to sit down and watch the game? If not, please, bye-bye. Let's go.
That's a glimpse into Jose's world.
You know what I'm saying? It's is it not a put the kids to bed kind of game, guys? I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Not at 4:30. Let me tell you.
Nap time, baby. Hey, nap time. Let's go.
You put them at nap time at 4:30. They're not sleeping.
That's a recipe for disaster. Oh my god.
Figure it out, folks. That's it.
So I saw today that the game's going to be played in Cleveland.
The worst.
In the Factory of Sadness.
It's
the Columbus fan base from what I've read online.
Very mad.
Funny to me.
I agree. One of the common things that I saw is like it's not like we don't have 100,000 plus person stadium capacity stadium in Columbus.
Ohio State, yeah.
Are they playing in Cleveland Brown Stadium?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
The thing is that Columbus and Cleveland are not that close. If it was like nearby, sure, but it's a few hours to get there.
Let it happen. No one, it's fine. We're gonna fill that stadium for them.
We're gonna what?
We're gonna fill this for them.
Oh, Mike V with I can't agree with you anymore. They call that stadium the Factory of Sadness.
Is that what they call it?
I hope Messi adds to the lore of that stadium.
Do they call it this? Is that what they call it? The Factory of Sadness? Cleveland?
Yes.
Wow.
No, the stadium, not the whole city.
The whole city. Cleveland. Wow.
It's just sad.
It's just sad. So, how are Inter Miami going to make it the saddest? How are we going to turn around the offense and make it so that we don't look so inept? What do you guys think is going to change between these last couple matches and Saturday's match that makes the end result a little bit better?
I'm nervous about Diego Rossi now. He's a little bit heading into So you're talking about offensively. I'm talking about defensively, because if all of a sudden our defense starts to lapse, because up to this point, guess what? Our defense hasn't been bad. Okay, so if all of a sudden we actually break the dam on defense, but why? How did you pull that right back at you? All right, so if all of
I
a
asked
sudden,
about the offense, and you're like Diego
bad,
Rossi.
guess what? Bad defense is going to create bad offense. So how about that? And I feel like if right now this guy's 3 goals in 3 games, yeah, it's pretty nerve wracking, to be honest with you. I don't know. So I'm worried about us controlling them on defense, because what happens on if what we've been relying on defense to just hold up, and all of a sudden it doesn't, good luck. It's not going to be fun.
So
Hit you with something more than expected.
just looking at the goals, our goals scored, their goals scored, and our goals allowed versus theirs, we're literally exactly the same.
Dead even.
We have each 12 goals scored and 6 goals allowed each. It's
Dead
insane.
even.
It's this is a hell of a match. I mean, it's gonna be close to the end. I wouldn't be surprised if it's. Well, we'll get to the predictions later. I'm not.
Yeah, we'll get to the.
I almost said something, but
I have
no,
some
I'm not gonna-
interesting take, different than my usual take of
Yeah.
just to flat out. But what I don't like about Columbus is really how they set up tactically, and it seems like they like to go out with a 3 in the back system, a lot of players in midfield, and to me, as much as I don't think Columbus is going to be the type of team to sit back and let us attack them over and over again, they have the ability to really congest the middle of the pitch with the amount of midfielders that they have. They play either like a 3-4-3, a 3-4-1-2, a 3-4-2-1, some variation of that where there's a lot of bodies in the midfield. And lately we've just had a very hard time breaking down teams that push us out wide. We did a really good job of that against LAFC in the second leg, but that is what concerns me the most. So I'm hopeful that we do more of what we saw against LAFC with a lot of crosses, a lot of different angled passes into the box, and a couple long shots that help just spread things out and sort of make the LAFC defense come out and try to stop you from doing that, which opens up some more space in more dangerous positions for certain players. But I'm a little bit worried about how Columbus sets up. I don't think they're a particularly good defensive matchup for us. Or I guess offensive matchup for us. Their defense scares me.
And I think kind of piggyback off their defense scares you. I think on our end, the main key here is we know Suarez is slowing down. We've spoken about it. We spoke about it a bunch after last match because he just didn't look right. It's just been that kind of season for him. He's not all there. Who else do we have that could kind of fill that role a little bit, make a play happen, bigger body? And we've spoken about him multiple times, is Allende. Allende needs to get back to his pre-injury form where we saw him making a bunch of plays, scoring goals, and we really need him to show out. Before his injury, we saw him able to connect with Suarez in the box, just make the right plays to score. And the last couple matches, we haven't been seeing that from him. We've been seeing him kind of down. He hasn't brought that spark that we were hoping he would bring back after injury. And I think that's what we're missing. Because Suarez, like we said, he's just down right now. His fitness doesn't seem to be right there. They're not resting him for whatever reason that may be. And yeah, we'd have to find a different way than Suarez. We can't rely on Suarez right now. Yeah, we're hoping Obando plays somewhat too. Is this the match to do it? We brought it up in Instagram and YouTube. We put up a poll as well, and people weren't happy to even mention that. But is this the match to kind of put him in there? We really thought it was going to be Chicago. Chicago was a perfect match to maybe not even start him, but at least 30, 40 minutes in there, and we didn't see that. So is Columbus really the proper time to do it right now? It just depends how much they favor an MLS match over resting players and waiting for CONCACAF next week. So I would like to see him though.
So you say that, Chris, that people were upset of like suggesting that, but we did a poll on YouTube, and out of 83 votes, 67% said that Obando should start ahead of Luis Suarez against Columbus. So it seems like people do want to see Obando with a starting opportunity. I agree. Let's see what he has. And you know what? If it doesn't work, you have Luis Suarez to come on. And at the end of the day, you didn't lose anything. If Obando needs to come off after 30 minutes because it just is awful, you have the freedom to do it, because otherwise you're going to put Luis Suarez in there for 90 minutes just like we did against Chicago.
And we saw that what that yields.
Right. Can't get much worse. So for Miami, outside of the attackers, who are you guys looking at? Chris mentioned Allende. We're talking about Obando and really Suarez, and who's going to step up and who's going to make the attack. But as Jose started alluding to with the Diego Rossi, who are you guys looking at in defense and midfield really to step up?
Are we finally going to see Bright in the starting lineup? That's like the one thing that I'm staring at. I don't understand why he hasn't been getting more run and continue to play second fiddle to Redondo. This is one that if they're going to be congesting the middle of the field, then you better have Yannick Bright in there to run down those balls and clear it up for you guys. So that's who I'm looking for. Hopefully, we get Bright from the start.
I had also on my list of players that I'm looking forward to. Actually, I'm not looking at one. Honestly, I feel like Suarez, when he has a bad game, which he had a really bad game in the last match. I think this can be a bounce back game for him, to be honest with you. Because I feel like whenever his back's against the wall, I always kind of hope that he can, resuscitate and somehow get it together again. I know he's had a really bad showing as of late, but I'm actually hopeful that he can get it going, because I'm not really respecting their defense so much. I think we can do something with it.
Yeah, Up Cold Series says I really want to see Suarez shut everyone up. I want to see it too. Shoot, I'd love for him to shut all of us up, because when he's on, and it's one of the most fun things to watch. So I hope so. Shut us up. Shut everybody up.
Not even goals, right? I mean, he contributes in other ways where he gets assists while he's up there. He slows the play down and starts to look for avenues to feed Messi and company. I feel like the game's kind of gone a little too quick for him the last few games. So I'm hoping that maybe in this match he can kind of just settle it down and get back to what he was doing when he was dominating last year.
He's felt like a very passive entity the last few games. Like almost as if he's not even trying to force the issue of play going through him. And when the ball does get to him, it's completely off target, or he does something that just doesn't feel like it's quite there, like where it needs to be at. So yeah, I mean, like you guys are saying, I would love for him to shut us all up and score a hat trick. And this is the game that I would be least surprised for him to do it in, because we've seen a number of times where it's the marquee matchup, like it's Miami versus LAFC, it's Miami versus Nashville a couple years ago. They get up and they play at their highest level in these types of matches. So I hope he shuts us up. I would personally just like to see Obando, because we really haven't seen what he can bring. We saw him in a very small amount of time, and yes, he messed up the one chance that he got, and you want your people to be able to strike when you're given that chance, but he's a young kid, and let's see what he's got. Like we have no idea from the fans' perspective of what he brings to the table. Obviously, these coaches and training staff see him on a day-to-day basis, but I would love to see what he has and be able to change the dynamic of how we are able to attack. But yeah, I hope he shuts us up. That'd be wonderful.
And then kind of flip. Go ahead, Jose. Go ahead before I ask the next question.
What I also am curious about, which Chris kind of alluded to, he didn't say it all out, but like, what if we're not really looking at this game like it is a big game? What if we're looking at it as like, I want to kind of save these guys up for CONCACAF, right? Like, you never know. It could be that they want to bench all these guys.
No shot.
But fact of the matter is, this is the biggest game so far this season in MLS play, and we have 5 days in between to rest up again. So it's not like one of these quick, Sunday and then Wednesday matches that we've been seeing. There's a good rest period in between. If anything, the following week is the rest week for them. So we'll probably see most, if not all, the top starting 11, whatever that even looks like. I don't even know what that looks like at this point.
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been able to get a grasp of Mascherano's rotation, who his best 11 are, because it's been kind of all over the place to this point. Granted, congested schedule and all of that, but it's just I haven't been able to grasp that yet. What I was going to ask is kind of the opposite question. What player do you definitely not want to see out on the pitch for Miami?
Great question. But I don't know. Go ahead, Jose. You could say, I don't want to see Robert Taylor.
I'm not gonna say obviously no. I don't want to take Gramaski. I feel like we've seen a lot of him, and I'm not. I don't think he's comfortable playing with his club right now, and it looks very awkward. I don't know. It just feels awkward when he's playing, and it's always fun when he starts to get it together. But I felt like in the last match that he played, the last 15 minutes of the whole 90 that he played, I feel like he got it going a little bit. But think about how long it took and how much bad soccer we were watching up to that point. So it's like, yeah, that's him for me.
You know who I don't want to see? Drake Callender. There's like a whisper that our goalkeeper hurt his hand a little bit, and now they're like, oh, maybe I would not be surprised if they decide to go with Drake Callender just to give our guy a night off. I'm like, oh man, if we have to freaking have Drake Callender out there, it's like a whole new ball game. It's like a wild card. You don't know what you're gonna get. So I really, really hope that Drake is not seen at all.
I'm going with Cello. I don't want to see Cello out there. I want to see Frey. I'm tired of seeing all these experiments in the right back. I'm tired of seeing Lujan out there too, but I do not want to see Cello. I feel like Mascherano might throw Cello out there this weekend. I don't want to see it. I'm tired of seeing him out there. He's solid, and that's just what it is. He doesn't bring a spark to any side of the ball or any side of the pitch, and Frey does. And so I need Cello out and Frey in all the time, please.
Yeah, I agree with
Redondo.
I said Redondo.
No.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah, I agree. I agree with all of you guys. I get those players away from the starting 11. I understand if really any of them, with the exception of Drake, sub on. Yeah, I don't want to see Drake in a big game like this. I want to see Ustadi continue to get reps, especially in these big games, because if we do make it far in any of these competitions, Ustadi is going to be the one I want in net based on his performances so far this season. So, yeah, I completely agree with everyone's selections, and I really hope we see Frey back. It's been kind of a random disappearance for him the last couple matches.
Yeah, he did pick up an injury. I feel like it was a minor injury. Again, we haven't heard much about it, but
so innocuous. But with him, we don't ever know.
Yeah, and it's scary to even risk him out there a lot, obviously because of his injury history. But man, if he's ready to go, he has to be out there. It's just that the other options are just not it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we know what Cello is at this point, and Lujan for me is just a good rotational piece, a good option to sort of plug and play. You can put him at center back, you can put him at right back, you can even put him at left back, which we haven't really seen. But I want to see like the strongest 11. I want to see, our captain Noah Allen, Falcon, Alba, and Frey with Ustadi and net. And I think that's a defense that can really hold fast against pretty much any attack in the MLS.
This is not a turf field, right? Cleveland
grass.
doesn't have. Yeah, they have grass.
Sad Cleveland grass.
Yeah, tears all over.
It's springtime.
It should be grass.
It's fertilized with all the tears.
With Bengals tears.
So, Jose, I know you mentioned Diego Rossi, but are there any other players that we are looking at on this Columbus team to be aware of?
Nagby seems to be playing very well. He's always on one of their top SOFA score guys. So that's what I can tell you. I was looking at their last 5 games. That guy's always pretty solid, man. And it just, it's about it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nagby, I believe he captains their squad on a number of occasions, but he's always dangerous. He can pick a really good pass out of the midfield and is good on the defensive side as well. He's a veteran in this league, so definitely someone to watch out for Inter Miami.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's a smart player. He's always around the ball. Like it seems like he's always there. So it doesn't matter where you are on the pitch. He's a threat. So hopefully we can neutralize him.
Yeah, and as good as Crema can be, that would also worry me going against a veteran who's seen a lot of football in his day, going against Crema, who definitely has the ability to make some magic happen, but we haven't seen that level. And I'm Crema.
Oh.
I'm very hopeful that we see Baltasar in place of Crema in this match. I would love to see him finally take the pitch, especially in that midfield that felt so weak in the last match against Chicago.
I agree, Upcode. That's my favorite lineup. When we bring that out, it makes me so happy.
Pretty sure it's everyone's favorite lineup with Bright and Boosie right above them. It's very difficult to get by the defense, to be honest.
The difficult part where not everyone agrees with is what comes after that.
In the attack?
Because it's been a lot of inconsistencies to this point. We saw them start off very strong, and then all of a sudden it's kind of just dropped off. That goes for Talasco, that goes for Allende, Suarez, obviously. Messi's been the only bright spot when he plays. Consistently,
yeah.
Yeah, consistently. He has his high ratings. He has just in general, just smart play, and the other guys have just been so inconsistent.
And Messi seems so locked in this. Like he's always locked in, but like the level of emotional energy that he's bringing to these games this season feels so high compared to last season, which he still performed at a very high level.
Upcode is asking, is Baltasar a pure winger? I believe he's an attacking center mid, if I'm not mistaken. So, it brings another attacking-minded player in the midfield that may help with everything that we're talking about right now, this anemic attack. It's always a possibility, and I hope we see some minutes. He's been training with the team for a week already, or a little over a week. So hopefully we see some minutes from him.
So who would you guys like to see as like a top 3 attackers for Inter Miami? Like assuming we have 3 players in attack with a striker and 2 wingers, who would you like to see start?
I mean, it's tough because like I'm looking when you say you have Bright and Boosie in the middle. I think you kind of not have to think of it as 3 up top, but more of like Suarez at the 9, Messi kind of floating around behind him, and then ideally Allende on one side and Fafa on the other side. I think would be ideal with that back 4. I think you have that group and you have enough dynamism and playmaking ability that you can pretty much attack it from any angle, and you can score up front, you can score from outside the box, from the corner. There's all kinds of things that you can do. Even set pieces with Suarez and Fafa is a good header, and you have Falcon has shown really decent attempts in the box and set pieces. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with that group, and we haven't really seen that lineup, which is perplexing. But if I were gonna take a stab at it, that's what I would go with.
I agree. I love the way you're ideating this, and it does seem that we haven't seen Fafa enter the starting lineup, and that is something that I would love to see as well. I love your tactical setup there. I think that would be really effective. The only question mark would be if we put Allende in Fafa's place, keep Messi sort of on the wing, but he plays wherever he wants, and then have Baltasar starting at the, I guess, attacking midfield position behind Suarez or Obando. But I would be so happy if that's how we rolled out the attack.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think it's hard to say your best attacking 3 because Messi's always going to be part of that, no matter what. Really, again, the same question marks we've been talking about all episode is Suarez. Obviously, we don't know a lot about Obando yet. Do we really want to replace Suarez up there from your top attackers? And we know nothing about Baltasar, so are we really going to replace him over Allende or Telasco there? I like David's replacement of Fafa there on the left, but you know, I know some people are saying Baltasar, but I don't really know enough about him to really put him in there in our
Yeah, we
starting
have to
attack
see him.
here.
Neither
We have to
does
see him,
Columbus.
Wow.
but we have to see him play this MLS
Big
style.
brain.
Like it's you've seen guys have success in Argentina and then come here, and it's a different style, different pace. So you do have to see how they adapt. But yeah, I mean, we're all hopeful that Baltasar brings some juice and some ability. But I mean, you can be Allende or you can be Facu. You don't know exactly where you're gonna transition with.
This is actually an interesting one that Octi put on here. It says Segovia at the 10, Messi at false 9, Allende, and pick a winger, bench Suarez. That's
The
interesting.
thing
too,
is,
man.
I wouldn't bench Suarez just yet. Like I'm not ready to pull the plug on him. I know that a lot of folks are. I'm not. I think he has a lot of the juice that he just hasn't come out this season. But I don't think it's something where it's like it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Particularly because we don't have a lot of guys that have proven otherwise. Like who is right now taking that spot away from him?
No one.
No
That's
one.
why you keep
But-
getting him for extended periods of time.
It is what
But
it is. Like,
he
no
needs
one
to
right now.
rest.
That's my spot. It's no one doing it. Even last year, look, we like to talk about Campana. Guess what? He never took it from him. Never did.
No,
Never did.
Campana shrunk. Like we all expected Campana to take a next step under Suarez's tutelage, and it never happened.
I think that unfortunately, when you have a guy like Messi that is up there, it kind of makes those guys shrink. It does. It makes them say, "Man, I like in the last match. How many times did you see guys second guessing themselves?" And we see it consistently, man.
I
We see it
disagree
consistently.
though. I disagree because like when
You
Messi
saw
first
it.
came on, that was this last match. But look at Kremaski and these guys when they first started with Messi, Kremaski looked like a superstar compared to what people had seen from him. Messi can elevate these guys. They just need to have confidence.
Yeah, it can go one of two ways.
Yeah.
You can shrink in the limelight, or you can elevate your game to level. We haven't seen anyone take that opportunity. To your point, Jose, Campana is a perfect example of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't given Obando, I guess in this case specifically, the opportunity to see if he rises to the occasion or shrinks. He had one missed opportunity, which again, I understand as a striker, you need to take those. But we've seen now Suarez miss a ton of opportunities, grade A opportunities. So he's also like not really bringing it. And there's within the Barca boys, there are tiers of like eliteness, right? Like I would put Messi and Alba as the most critical pieces, Busi below, and now at this season so far, Suarez below Busi as far as how critical they are to this team. We've been winning and getting results kind of in spite of Suarez's play. So as much as I agree, and I'm sort of just messing around and saying, yeah, Obando should start because I want to see, like, is he going to shrink or is he going to rise to the occasion? Is he someone that we can rotate in? But Suarez is probably going to start.
Yeah, and I'm only answering the question that Chris answered, right? Like do I agree that we need to add these players and sprinkle them in and see who does rise to the occasion? Yeah, we have to. No choice. Actually, we actually have no choice. But it's one of those things where it's like right now, where we are right now, playing against Columbus, do or die. I'm riding with Suarez. It is what it is. No one else has proven otherwise. You put Suarez, Messi, and the third one is the question mark for me. I don't know if like my life was on the line and I got to choose like one of these guys. I'm so screwed.
Robert Taylor.
Yeah. It's over anyways. He's gonna miss it regardless. It's gonna be Suarez and Robert Taylor missing on every side of the post. If we put a little ball with a little paint on it, it's gonna be the most beautiful goal post.
All the seats behind the goal will be like when you go to the Seaquarium and it says splash zone. It's just all the balls that get hit into the stands are going to be there. You're in danger.
It's incredible. Yeah. So right now, I think that third spot in this question of who do you trust to be our three on offense or our top three? I think we're missing that third guy to step up.
Yeah,
and we need someone to supplant the second guy with Suarez. We need someone because he's not doing enough, and either he supplants his crappy player or someone else has to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then it's going to be one of the more interesting things to see in this match is when that lineup is released. And it feels like every lineup has been at least in my opinion, every time I see a lineup, I'm like, that's a good lineup. That's a good lineup. But the last few games, the results really haven't matched that feeling that I have. So I'm hopeful and I'm interested to see what Mascherano trots out there.
And I will say, and this is an interesting point. I had said this a few shows ago where we're talking about the same topic about Luis Suarez not living up to the hype, etc. And I said, and I wonder what if we were to put Messi at the 9 and say, okay, well, just have him be like a distributing 9, and we had him play that for a little bit. I forgot what game it was. What? Oh,
We clicked a comment at the same time. Sorry.
yeah, there you go. But have him at the 9, and that could be an option too. I think he did that. Like we got Suarez subbed off, and I think he went up there. I forget.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't think it was bad.
No, if I recall correctly, I think it was the end of a match when we were leading. I think.
I don't think he wants to be that far back. Like I think he's more comfortable roaming, and he doesn't want to be all the way at one end of the pitch. So he wants to be able to take the ball high if he wants to. So
it's a bad run of form for Suarez. He's got to get out of the funk, and of any attacker that we have on our team, with the exception of Messi, who doesn't really get in these funks, he has the ability and tools to get out of it. I mean, we've seen Robert Taylor fall into a funk, and now that's just who he is. But Suarez has the ability to change that in one match, and it could be a goal, it could be a hat trick, it could be anything in between. But
you have no idea what you're gonna get.
Right. So hopefully he gets out of the funk, gets into form, especially as we head into these later stages of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We have the Club World Cup coming in June, so hopefully, he needs to get going.
Yeah.
So with that said, is Dave Stradamus in the building for some score predictions?
Ooh, he's ready to go.
Beautiful. So we have Inter Miami versus
Oh.
Columbus. Dave Stradamus, how are we calling this one?
He's not Dave Stradamus right now. He's La Peluca.
yeah,
La Peluca.
Peluca Thomas. I don't know. Basically, we're all worried about our offense. We're all worried about their defense. I'm not worried about either. We're going to score 4 goals. They're going to score 1. And the reason behind this is that we are going to inject Balthasar into the lineup. We are going to inject Owando into the lineup. And it's going to be for actual minutes, not like the last time where he was kind of thrusted at the end and figure it out. It's crunch time. No. They're going to get significant minutes together. And it's just going to be like when we first installed Segovia and Allende, and teams hadn't really seen what they do, and they haven't really had any expectations for these guys. And I think it's going to be a similar result in which they're going to score, and we're going to show different looks, and we're going to have different ways to attack. So I'm thinking with the infusion of some newer talent, we're going to see a 4-1 result.
I'm thinking very, very average 2-1 victory. I can't even take Davis seriously because I can't see his right eye. That's crazy. Yeah, wow. Just the way you took your hair out of your eye is ridiculous. So it's 2-1. I'm predicting 2-1 with the brace from Suarez. How about that?
All right.
This guy came to play.
So my prediction, we stay unbeaten. But we don't win. I think we tie it 2-2 against Columbus. I think we're so evenly matched with Columbus right now, and the stakes are high. I understand that, but I don't see either team with really the greatest edge right now. So I have to go with 2-2. Messi does score. He finds the back of the net. Luis Suarez does find the back of the net finally after a small rut here. But yeah, we tie it, man. But we're still unbeaten. Plus side.
How about that?
I was going to say 2-2, Chris, but for the sake of changing it up, I'll say 3-2. We're so back. And you know what? Suarez is going to make the game winner at the death. Like 80-plus minute, he's going to score. Because he's going to play 90 minutes again.
Because he's in there the whole time.
That's correct.
Damn it.
No choice.
But it'll be worth it. It'll be so worth it.
Guy's gonna have a mid-game just injection in his knee.
So I'll say 3-2. I do think a draw to me seems like the most likely outcome for all the reasons you outlined, Chris. But yeah, I'll say we edge them out.
Fair.
All right.
So with that, Saturday we'll be live later in the evening because we aren't all like Jose who can just sit back and relax, watch the game, put the kids to bed at 4:30 p.m. So we'll be live later in the evening to recap and break down all the action. So for everyone that hung out with us for the live, thank you guys so much. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons before you guys head out. Thank you for stopping by the Heron Heads podcast, powered by 786 Sports. We are your first stop for all things Inter Miami, and we will catch you on Saturday. Have a great rest of your week, guys.
We'll be right back.